Hey, Shalom, Kalalal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. All praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do rule well and that do teach well and that have taught me this truth. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect. Lord willing, this will be edifying or thought-provoking in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And that's one thing I like to do. I like to look at animals in their habitat. I like to look at how animals function in the wild and how they function in captivity. And these animals are beautiful, especially the big cats. I like looking at big cats. I like looking at deer and bears and things of that nature. But after watching this little short here, it just had me thinking, in these last days, man, these animals, or these wild beasts, are going to come up against you, man. The Lord's going to put a spirit on them to eat you. After watching this, I thought about that. It says here, meeting the deadliest tiger in the world, and his name is Pancham. He's in captivity, of course, and he is owned by the richest man in India, apparently. But apparently this tiger has eaten 8 people, and so that just simply means he's accustomed to eating human flesh. And that's going to be the case for you people in this last days. These animals are going to crave human flesh because of the spirit that's on them. I believe that goes back to Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28 on down. How there's certain spirits out here that are created for vengeance. And one of those spirits is teeth of wild beasts. And this is a wild beast, and it has sharp teeth, sharp claws, and it has super strength. Right? It's serious. This is a very dangerous animal. It's a wild animal. So I'm gonna play the clip, and I have a couple other shorts that I'm gonna play, and then I'm gonna get some precepts, of course. So here we go.
Pancham has eaten 8 people. Eaten, not killed. Eaten. He's starting to come now.
Oh. Oh my God! Oh my fucking God!
Pancham.
Hey man, and you know, funny thing, those 8 people, the 8 people that Pancham has eaten, that's the last thing they saw before they perished, man. Pancham charging right at them. That's the last thing they saw, and that's going to be the case for you people in these last days, man. When all these zookeepers and when the zoos, when they're no longer able to be maintained, these animals are gonna escape the zoo, and they're gonna start hunting you people, right? And a lot of you people over here in North America and also different parts of the world, you have something called exotic pets. A lot of you people like to keep panthers and cougars and carcals and wild and wolves in your home, and they're your pets, they're your family. But they're gonna turn against you too in these last days, man. Right? But look at that, man. This tiger is ferocious, and there's a spirit of anger on him too. Rightfully so, because he's in captivity and he's probably not treated good. But he's nasty, man. And that's going to be the case for you people in these last days. Here's a precept. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Who's he? Or who is him that made them? That's talking about the Lord, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. Yeah, and these animals, man, or these different spirits that are created for vengeance, they're supposed to appease the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. So the Lord set up these animals, man, out here, these different spirits to destroy you. And that's going to make the Lord happy. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. So teeth of wild beasts. And this thing is a wild beast, and it has sharp teeth, man, literally. Okay, and there's going to be a spirit of vengeance on animals like these in these last days. Oh, shit. Here's another one. It says here, Lion growls while looking at photographer. You want to mess with that, man? That thing's gonna eat you, man. Kill you. And he's obviously upset. He doesn't want that photographer in his area, his territory. So he's pissed. But that's the type of animal you're going to encounter in these last days if you're not right. Here's another one. This is a female tiger protecting her cubs. You know, she's protective, right? So it says, "Don't even think about it touching my child." That's the last thing you're gonna see, man. You know, there's judgment. This is Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. You know, ultimately, going back to the very beginning, going back to creation, the animals weren't supposed to attack us like that. They're actually supposed to be scared of us. If we encounter them, they're not supposed to fight us, man. We're supposed to be able to go up to them and pet them. And we're going to get that back. Going into the kingdom, we're going to get that back. We're going to get our godlike stature back. And we're going to be righteous, so these animals are not going to have a reason to attack us. That's the main reason why they attack us, is because of sin. Right? So anyways, I'm going to start at Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. It says, And Yahweh Bashim Yoshai blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And that's really a commandment too, because you're supposed to be fruitful and multiply, meaning you're supposed to have children. Alright, so it's really a blessing to have children, but that's no longer the case in today's world, especially over here in North America. If you have children, it's really a burden onto you. Right? But that's a command. You're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. You're supposed to have children. And we're going to do that in the kingdom. We're going to have as much children as we want, as much women as we want. And it's not going to matter, because we're going to be able to sustain them. Because it's going to be a righteous kingdom. And our bodies are going to be able to keep up with that. Verse 2, And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, including those animals, man. And upon every fowl of the air. That includes the birds, like these eagles and these other aerial predators. Upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Yeah, like killer whales. And killer whales are dangerous, man. Study killer whales and sharks. They're actually worse than sharks, than the great the great white shark. Forgot the term of the shark, but they're worse, killer whales. They actually torture their prey. They'll kill other animals in the ocean for no reason. Esau did a study on that. Brother, early this week, I think Brother Shemayim sent me a video on killer whales. It was insane, man. They're like serial killers, man. But it says, And upon all the fishes of the sea, into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb I have given you all things. Yeah, and now these animals, these beasts, they're a curse onto us. Now they attack us, and now they feast on our flesh. Right? Now that's in the curses. When you go into Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 26, I'll start here. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Hey, and that happens to our people. Our people are bird food. Especially when they die. The birds eat their flesh. Let's just say if they just die in the wilderness and no one picks up their dead carcass, them animals will have a feast on you and onto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. That's right. So you can get attacked by wild beasts, and they'll eat you. And that's a curse. Right? Why did this curse come upon us? Because we rebelled against the Heavenly Father. We didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, man. We didn't stay obedient. So that's actually a curse, to be eaten like that. Here's another one. This is Ezekiel chapter 32, verse. I'm going to start at verse 2, because we're in Egypt again, pursuing to Revelation 11 and 8. This is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So we're in Egypt 2.0. So this applies to us. Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 2, Son of man, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and say unto him, Thou art like a young lion of the nations, and thou art as a whale in the seas. And thou camest forth with thy rivers, and troublest the waters with thy feet, and fooledest the rivers. Thus saith the Lord power, I'll therefore spread out my net over thee with a company of many people, and they shall bring thee up in my net. Then will I leave thee upon the land. I will cast thee forth upon the open field, and I will cause all the fowls of the heaven to remain upon thee, and I will fill the beasts of the whole earth with thee, and I will lay thy flesh upon mountains, and fill the valleys with thy height. I will also water with thy blood the land wherein thou swimmest, even to the mountains, and rivers shall be full of thee. Yeah, a lot of you people are going to die, and these animals are going to have a feast. They're going to feast upon your dead carcasses too. And that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen to America, you people in America. You're going to be bird food. You're going to be beast food. And that's due to your rebellion and your wickedness, man. And that includes our people. You're going to get caught up in this too. Let's see if I can find another one. This is Ezekiel chapter 29. Verse 5, and I will leave, going into Egypt again, and I will leave thee thrown into the wilderness, thee and all the fish of thy rivers. Thou shalt fall upon the open fields. Thou shalt not be brought together, nor gathered. I have given thee for meat to the beasts of the field, and to the fowls of the heaven. And all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am Yahweh, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. Yeah, man. And you're going to get judged. For messing with the Lord's people and for being rebellious, man. And like I said, our people, they're going to get caught up into this too. Because you have some of our people, they don't want to leave Egypt. And you had that mixed multitude, man. When they left Egypt, they were complaining about how they weren't doing good in the wilderness. And they were murmuring and saying things, man, if we were back in Egypt, man, we would have lots to eat. Man, let's go back to Egypt. Have you brought us into wilderness to die? Why are we here? So that shows you, man, a lot of our people, they're going to perish too in these last days, man, by these animals and wild beasts. Now, anyways, let's move on for the sake of time. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. Salakia, give me 1 second here. Salakia, I had to just do something real quick. Yeah, so so from verse 17 and 18, the Lord, he promised a great feast to all these birds and wild beasts, these fallen soldiers that are going to go up against Yahweh Shai in those last days. When these people die, or when these soldiers die out there in that field, they're going to be feasted upon. Right. So a lot of these animals, these wild beasts, man, they're gonna fill their bellies, man. They're gonna eat to their heart's content. That's how the Lord set it up in these last days. So, going back to the original precept that we started off with, back in Sirach chapter 39, verse 30, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. Right? So spirits out there that are created for vengeance, teeth of wild beasts. So that's going to play out in these last days too. Alright, last precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 7 verse 33. And the carcasses of this people shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven, and for the beasts of the earth, and none shall fray them away. Then I will cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for all the land shall be desolate. See? And our people are going to be caught up into that too. 2/3 specifically. We're going to be food for the beasts of the earth and for the fowls of the heaven. So with that, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha HaChodash, the belongers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS, that do Ruwan, that do teach Ruwan, that have taught me this truth. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect.